everyone, Joshua Hinland here, and today I'm with Martin in Alabama, and we will be taking a look at his van here, his U-Haul van, and how he packs Lego. So this is a little bit of a different video if you've watched Beyond the Brick. Obviously, we've covered tons of builds set up at conventions, but now we're gonna look at how do builders get all of those incredible creations to the conventions. Martin, you have a ton of experience with this because you bring a lot of stuff to shows over the years.
This is right, and this is actually that reverse, right? It's like, did it make it home? So if you see I've got a gravel driveway going out, this is my biggest challenge ever leaving. It's like, am I gonna get out without breaking something, however far we've gotta go? But yeah, getting stuff to convention without it breaking means that it can be set up, people can enjoy it, and it's a stress-free environment for me. But sometimes you wanna bring it home and have it in one piece. So it's like, how do you pack? How do you pack in the car? How do you pack the boxes so that it doesn't break? And I think after a few years, I figured out how we do that. I hope.
Perfect.
We're about to see.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will find out. Yeah. So what I'll do is like we'll show you how I pack this vehicle, right? So I have a trailer, but I've decided the trailer doesn't work with the way it hitches onto a car because it bumps a little bit more. And Lego bumping up and down doesn't do very well. It breaks. So you see, I'm kind of filled to the top, and I'm loaded in a specific way, right? All my weight's kind of near me in the middle, and I've actually just kind of got as much as I can off the wheel hubs, because when you do that, as you go over a bump, you're taking that whole bump as well. But the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is like my Rapunzel's tower. I think I've shown it before, but it's all on one plate, right? So all one big wooden board. And when you build something like this with foliage, right, you can wrap it up in cling film or what do you call it, cling wrap? Yeah, something like that, or other stuff, or bubble wrap. But all your foliage falls off. I do have the first sign of damage here.
Hey, that's not bad considering it's just sitting in the van.
It's not bad, right? So it's got enough space so I don't have to get to the show and spend 2 hours putting foliage on, right? So that's the first thing. We're not going to get this box out, which is a Death Star trunk trunk, because that means we have to move this right now. I've got a slightly awkward back. But what we are going to do is go around the side and pull out some of these boxes and see what we've got.
And real quick, is there a specific brand? It looks like you use all the same type of box here, so is there one you found works well?
Yeah, mainly. So HDX Storage Tote is the type of brand. This one has wheels, there's different sizes. I think this is 17 or 14 gallon in this one. We'll pull one of these out. So there we go, tough tote.
14 gallon.
14 gallon, so they stack on really nice. I've got 27s as well, so they stack on top quite easily. And then I've got another, it's all that brand, but some different sizes with wheels on, and things just stack nicely, which is what's important to me.
So, there we go. So HDX brand ambassador here if you're looking for a little collab.
That's right. And I've been through a lot of storage boxes, and I'm absolutely loaded on here. I haven't got to the point where I kind of write in big white paint what's in there, because my builds change, but at the moment they're not there. I'm keeping everything up, so it will be nice to pull and have things in so I can be even more efficient. But yeah, that's my brand that I use. I'm full on board.
Perfect.
All right,
we can go around that.
So this sort of van's nice because I get that side entry, so I can kind of pick and choose on things. When I am packing and when I'm trying to do a show, one of the things, and packing in Alabama is sometimes different, but when I'm packing for my car, I always want to have me a nice storage cart. This is one I do like, but if I can find a better one that's better than this one, I'll steal it, and I won't use this one. Like this weekend, I think I stole Brick Fairs, but this came from Costco, and it says Costco, and it has that ability to move differently, and that big chunky wheel means that with a bigger wheel, things are less likely to break. It's like as a car, as your wheels are bigger, you want a bigger wheels on a trailer than a smaller wheels. So that's really useful. We're not going to use that, but we will pop it out of the way. So actually the other brand I do use, and it's just a little bit because they're slim, is they're Plano, and they're sportsman's trunks, right? So I think I got these at Academy, wheels as well, but they've got lots of places to lock so the lid doesn't come off. But again, if I'm trying to squeeze things into different spaces, play Tetris, we need to do that. So which one do you want to get?
Let's start at the top. I feel like that's easiest.
This is really useful as well for protection for the boxes. So yeah, we have a pillow. Okay, we'll start at the top. It's the easiest. I'm glad you didn't pick that one.
If I'd said the bottom one, I'd just stand here and watch you move them out of the way.
Yeah. So thank you for getting that pillow. We don't want that to get damaged. So let's have a look, right? So I feel like I'm on a baking show. It's like, let's do this.
I'm going to judge you based on how good this looks.
I'm trying to think if I know what's actually in this one, and I don't think I do. Okay, so we're trees. So this is nice. If you've ever transported trees or built trees, it's always a challenge. These ones are meant to have broken, right? So I just have one tree at the front of my Rapunzel's tower. I'm not that bothered about that. I'll re-break it. But what you are going to notice is, and we'll go through them and I'll show you what I've done. This one is just nestled in, right? Nestled in nicely. It's not touching the edges. It's got a little bit of bounce. It's always important. We've got a tree that's pretty much turnkey. So something that's normally going to fall apart, thank you, normally going to fall apart on the way isn't. Okay, so we'll put that there. Yeah, sits on there. We could plant the tree there and see if it grows. There we go. Let's see what happens. All of these were Lego trees.
Coming to the botanical collection next year.
Okay, this is a broken bag, but it was purposely broken. I knew it was. I ripped a piece off the bill because it didn't fit. So it's still broken.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, okay, so that's okay. But what we have is a, we'll stick that there. We have another bit of a tree. So, and this is not glued, but notice I've got a bunch of towels. I'm trying to just cushion things in place. I don't want things too tight because it squeezes and compresses. I want enough cushion so it can move around nicely. So,
because no matter how good, you know, your van, your trailers, whatever, there's always going to be that fluctuation, that bounce.
Always going to have that little bit. And that one has done nicely as well. So we'll move that very carefully. I never would normally have done something like that, but it just sits in. But here, the other thing is like, how are you going to get something out? So I have got it out. No. So a little bit fidgety.
Hey, it's still together.
There we go.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to take the limbs off, as I say, you can see it's not glued or anything. It's a little bit squished, but that's over time. So then we're going to see what else is in there. So we've got a couple of buildings, just two. Can I give you the tree?
Yeah.
So under the bottom and the top. Just hold that for me for a moment. I feel we have a bad one because this building actually is meant to break, but right now I've got really big, thick bubble wrap on it. Again, it's not really tied around. I haven't wrapped it completely. It's just enough so it doesn't move in the box and it's spacious. So
you don't want the wrapping putting pressure on the build itself.
Absolutely correct, actually, because also it expands, right? Plastic expands. This is going to come apart because, again, this build is meant to come apart. But yeah, so that makes me quite happy. It's fairly loose in the box, didn't break. It's on the top, bumpy, gone a couple of 100 miles, and I'm pretty sure the same one will be the same way. So that's no excitement in that box really. But listen, we've got loosely fitting, nice cushionly comfort, and I'm going to go to Kentucky this weekend. And would you like to place it in there?
Oh yes, yes.
And I'll give you an update to see whether it actually made it or not. You always want to make sure you leave room at the top of the boxes as well, but let me move where you put it because it didn't go in the right spot.
Of course, I mean, you're the professional here.
We'll put that there as well. But again, just a little bit of delicacy is all needed. You can throw those bits in for me though, because those don't matter. Just don't break them up anymore because you have to reassemble that piece. I'm going to put that one in. Didn't grow any more than it actually was. Okay, that was pretty non-eventful actually.
There was a turtle that almost got away.
Oh my gosh. They're rare, those ones as well, aren't they? Glow-in-the-dark turtles. Okay, I'll let you pick another box. You can get one yourself.
We'll grab this one over here off this
side. Yeah, thanks. And I'm quite confident there will be no breakage, apart from the way you put that down there on the table. I did have someone help me load in though, my friend Dean. But again, all right, same thing. Look, I've used a lot of towels. Okay, this is important. This is Quidditch. I didn't have this at the last convention. It is going to the next one. Look, the use of the towels and the faded towels are so important. I'd spend forever like assembling these things, and the way I've put this in, I can just kind of assemble here and then quickly go ahead and stand these up, right?
So even if sections break off, it's super simple to just stick it back together.
It's all attached together. Yeah. And for this video's sake, it's going to create me a bit of work, so I'm going to have to move it out again. So let's pull this. Sometimes I have stuff stuck in, I don't know what it is. So you're going to see the towers. I don't want the towers moving, right? So they're going to be attached in with it, or like snug fit in there with a towel, right? So again, I think we're going to be really uneventful, but it should be quite useful for people. So I used to would go ahead and just attack this with bubble wrap. Again, I don't want anything moving. These towers specifically have a problem here because there's a weak point. They often drop and break there on the corner. But this is just, I pulled this one back from Atlanta Brick Co. and it went to Birmingham and back. And we've got a couple of creaks, or like little cracks there, but I think if I pull one out, we should be good. So this is just like stuff I get from when you get stuff from Amazon.
Yeah, just packaging that comes in boxes.
It's just wrapping it up and keeping it tight from moving. I think, okay, I have bubble wrap there to raise it, I think, because I've got this little bit.
Oh, right.
So I raise a little bit of height. But again, we're going to see nothing eventful in that box.
So they stayed together really well.
Yeah, and I'll be happy just putting that back and we'll be good to go. So again, just want it nice and tight. I don't want movement in the boxes. I don't want it too tight because it will compress it, and then I don't want the boxes to move themselves. So
Yeah, and you place the towers in such a way that the builds themselves act as a way to keep it together too. So it's not just the packaging, the way that you place the builds in there helps a lot.
Yeah.
Too.
And you know, when I'm often building in a way that I'm like, okay, how is that going to break down to travel? Okay, let's grab another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I grab a big one or is this not?
Yeah, actually, that's probably a pretty important one because I think that's going to be heavy. I think this is part of my castle. Or maybe that's Rapunzel's tower. Whichever one, it's important, right? So if it's Rapunzel's, it's the main tower part. If it's a castle, it's the main keep inside the castle. And
your variety of towels and blankets is also impressive.
as your children grow, not only do you take Lego, but they often get blankets for Christmas and birthdays, and that allows me to have lots of things. Airplane blankets are the best. The ones from Delta, the red ones, and depends if you're in first class or like cabin. For me, it's the red ones. Yeah, you probably get the nice big chunky ones. Okay, so this is Rapunzel's tower. So let's unpack this sucker. So here is my tree. Again, we've done that same cushioning in, right? And we're going to lose some leaves. That's okay. Actually, I think I just kind of end up sitting these on top. So we'll put those there. But this is actually pretty important because the tower comes in loads of sections. It's gone to 5 shows and it probably go to many more this year, and then it's probably done. But if any of this breaks, it's going to take a lot of reworking because it's about 2.5 years old. So this is going to be, again, more blankets. See how I've got stuff padded in?
Yeah.
Right? You're going to see other boxes in here as well.
So you don't want a lot of like open air or open space necessarily, like using this plastic and stuff to just kind of fill in those areas.
Yeah, but it also, so yes, and then this, you know, it would allow a bit of movement if it needs it, and you want that movement to give. It's like a suspension almost, rather than it's static. If it's got nowhere to go and you hit a bump, something's going to give somewhere.
That's true.
You want to make it minimal and it's here. So this is, and I probably should use a different princess blanket. I'm not sure which, I think it's Ariel. I should go for a Rapunzel blanket.
You gotta brand your blankets.
Yeah, I should. I know which goes with which, so it's all right, it's all right. I like the steady hand. So we're gonna try to unwrap it without losing foliage. So if you hold on to that, see, that's where you're going, that's not gonna work. It's not, yeah, that's gonna break probably if we take that. So me knowing my build well enough, so inside we see that the tower's wrapped up. And as it sits there, it's got enough padding that it's supported. I had no pressure, like there was nothing on the left side or the right side. These are fairly weak, these beams that go in here. So I don't want to put pressure on those because when they break, I'm in trouble because you see, that's what goes into the tower to kind of slot it into place. So there is that.
But it stayed together really nicely there.
It did, thank you. And then this is where it does get interesting. So again, as I just sit there, I'm just gonna sit there like that. Okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want that to fall.
Yeah, I know. Let's just put a mic on it so we hear the clunk and the break if it does. Okay, so here we've got a few other things. So of the tower, and I've got, again, more boxes from Home Depot because I'm like, oh, what's that?
It's some accessories.
Oh, look, and they didn't break. Okay, so these are like little milk crates.
Yeah.
And I used these when I built my biggest indoor battle, and like a base plate fit in there, and I had the trees, and I got them up in the van, and because I knew I had to set up really quickly. So we'll pull both of these out.
Fun fact, in Alabama, you still get your milk delivered in crates like this.
Yeah, if you buy them from Home Depot. So yeah, but no, fun fact, that's true, absolutely. We do have one piece of the builds in here in this big wrap, and that was wedging stuff into place, but this part of the build was solid. Okay, and if it's sitting here like this, it's not going to break, and it didn't break. So this is the middle part of the tower, which is kind of cool to see as well, a little buttress part. All right.
Look at that great architectural design work there.
I'm really pleased with it.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I should mention as well, for if you haven't seen Martin's interviews, we've done videos on the finished, completed builds of all the stuff he's showing. We'll put links in the video description below so you can check that out and actually see what this looks like set up.
So let me move this out of the way and we'll dig in these, because this is, let's have a peek. So again.
This is great.
So I am nervous when I look at this one. So I'll be like little butterfingers. So again, I'm just gentle in here. This has allowed me to frame stuff in to protect things hidden in and also stop the movement. But this is the very top of the tower. He sits in, and I've got no pieces off. And I'm not gonna, well, I am.
Look at that. I mean, and there's so many little pieces on there and it comes out perfectly.
Yeah, it does. Oh, you had to say that. I guess that piece goes there.
You're making it worse.
I'll stop fiddling with it. Okay, so then we'll open up the towel, and there we have that part of the tower in, right? That's probably one of the most important parts. Well, every part's important. It is lit up. People keep saying you should light it up. I'm like, I've got it wired to light. I just really don't care anymore. Like after the 7th time, I'm like,
You've done it so many times.
no.
Yeah.
And when you go to a convention and people like Stefan have what they do, I'm like, there's no point in me ever trying to light
The
stuff.
giant
So-
cyberpunk city.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we'll wrap this up again. But again, okay, really important on this, right? So you need something under this piece. You can't just sit it in the crate. So whether that's something like the tool drawers where they have like, it's some little rubber mat to stop movement, or a towel, or a piece of bubble wrap. Again, stopping the movement in there.
And also, if something did come off, it catches in the bottom there.
Correct. Yeah, because
it'll
there's holes in
lose it
this
to the-
one.
Right.
Yeah, that would be problematic. So, could you place the bubble wrap in exactly as it was before? Yeah. All right. So, and even then, as I'm putting it in, like I'm actually trying to think, okay, where does it sit? And where does the pressure get put? So I had to turn it around quite nicely for myself to make me happy. This is the one where I am, like if this can make it here and back without breaking, like everything else is good. So don't care about that little bit of tower, that's fine, we'll wrap that up. I think that's the top of the tower. So, chimney.
There you go. That's a lot of bubble wrap for a little piece there.
It is, isn't it? It's very important.
It's very-
Yeah. The chimney. Okay. So again, lots of padding around here. This was my Christmas present from my daughter. It's a really nice knit hat, but I had it on when I was packing this up when I took it out of the shops at Eastchase. And so again, a lot. This is a lot for a very small bit. And now I've got to get it up. There's a bear in there suffocating. Oh no, save the bear.
Animal cruelty.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to flip it the right way. Oh shoot, bugger. No, we're just going to unveil it this way and then try to pick it up. So there is the top of the tower.
Ooh.
It's not perfect, but it's still assembled, and I'm going to, we do have some separation, but it's not going to.
In this case, anything that isn't completely crumbled stands as a win.
Yeah, so you see the connection
Whoa.
points that I don't think I've ever shown properly how that one is joining so many connection points. But again, this is good enough for me. I just need to get it in there and tighten some of these bars into these clips and clip it in place, and we'll be okay. So yeah, again, bubble wrap under here. A lot of space for the really delicate stuff, and I've got the thoughts, sometimes I transport it this way, but there's a lot of weight here pressing down at different angles, so I want to think about how the weight is dispersing as it's in there. So okay, so we are going to put this back in. I probably will readjust that a little bit before I go on my next trip this weekend.
I love the hat.
It's a good hat.
It is.
It's actually a
great
really
hat.
warm hat, and I'm disappointed it's in there. I should probably put another one while I'm at it, but I'm not going to. Okay. So there we are. We've done a bit of Quidditch. We've done a bit of that. We haven't got the castle. We're going to pull the castle bit because I do want to inspect it while we're here.
We should mention, so let's see, this trip you just got back from is from Brickbrayer, Alabama, and Birmingham, which is, so how far would you
That's
say
correct.
you've driven with this stuff in here?
So coming back, it's probably 120 miles probably. So
Okay.
it's not far, but it's not the distance. It's the potholes.
It's the where.
Yeah, that's what it is. So let's go ahead. We're leaving this bit on here, and we're going to pull Mr. Castle out, which is what is this one? Who said that? That's heavy, isn't it, as well? So, okay, that's more Quidditch in there. And okay, so we'll have a look at some of the minifigures, and these are going to pop out, but these are fairly delicate structures, and we're all in place. This went up to Birmingham and back and didn't get displayed. One of our friends had a really good Harry Potter scene, and their daughter had made a Quidditch scene. I was like, you know what? I will leave this one up. We don't need something else in there. And trying to be economical with the wrap, right? This can double up over there. I don't have to wrap everything. Actually, well, let me pull up. You'll see how this sits on. You've got the row of the people there, and with enough wrap, and again, I've got the wedge in here, the towel, that I can just put this on here and not put pressure because something's going to give in the middle. So that's a win.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
this is fantastic. I mean, the stories we've heard over the years when talking to people about their builds.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. All right, so I'll go for this one, and then I'll show you the inside of the other box. All right, so the reason this is a problem is this is for the tower keep, and it's not fully solid. So it's really big things. It's nice to build it solid, and you're normally okay, but the top bits of the tower are not. So, and I'll talk through this one in just a second. So we do have that same pattern that we've got in here. These bits here are hollow and have broken quite a few times. You start to see that little crack and you have to push it in. But I've got a very nice, really good duvet comforter that I stole and wrapped that around and laid it in. We're gonna try to pull this out. Well, I may not pull it out because it's in such good condition right now. So what's important to know is these bits here, the top of the tower, are not resting on the bottom. So if you see where this is wrapped, this is doubled around, that means these are floating and not touching the bottom of the base. If they were and we get that bump, I don't want that to give.
Right.
So it looks like we are intact in there, and we are just gonna let sleeping babies lie.
It's swaddled very nicely.
It's swaddled like a sleeping baby. So again, you've got that combination of towels, blankets, bubble wrap, like really trying to float stuff in. But as we get in here and have a look, I don't know if there's a light or not. Again, we don't have, well, that one there doesn't fit right, does it? We don't have a whole lot of movement in anything, which is what's really important for me.
Things aren't, the cases themselves aren't sliding around in the
correct.
vehicle.
Which also, hey, we've got this rubber mat, which helps, but positioning stuff in the right way that you have no gaps. So if you see in there, I've stuck a cooler because there was a tiny little gap, so I wedged that in to stop even little things moving. The worst thing you want to hear is Lego breaking, but before you hear that, you hear things move. And then the Lego breaks. So you really just don't want to hear anything moving, quite frankly. So, but I think that's probably, unless
fantastic.
we go through every box, but I think we're going to have the same results. I'm quite confident. I'm pretty good at packing Lego.
It's all
better than building it.
It's all going to be packed perfectly, so
Absolutely,
there's no reason to keep going.
Yeah, there isn't actually. Unless we're going to set up a little mini convention right here for the neighbours.
Who drives by. But no, this is great. Thank you for taking your stuff out of the van. And I know you go to a lot of shows. Now, another question a lot of people have related to packing is flying with it. So have you ever flown to a show or do you not have experience with that at this point?
Yeah, I have. I tried to fly to Brick Slopes in Utah and the door fell off the plane. So I never ended up flying, and then they had to fly in a door from plane. That plane broke, so I didn't go. It went a few days later. But I did have a backpack with me. And the backpack, when I got home, everything was destroyed in the backpack.
Okay.
That was even for me just carrying it and getting on the plane, and then a little bit of movement, and yeah, I've got no experience in that. That's good. But so I think that like freight is an option, like for carriers at freight, and few of my builds I do want to work on that will be able to be freighted somewhere or shipped by whatever, FedEx ground or UPS ground, who know like they've got to take care of something fragile. The build structure is what's more important, I think, than the pattern though in that one. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, the way you build it, I think, is always at the end of the day what's going to dictate a lot of how this works, but then that packing can do a lot as well to kind of keep it together. So it's great to see the system you figured out. I hope this is helpful to everyone watching out here. This is a question, you know, we get a lot. It's something we try to ask people at the show when we're at a convention, but it's even better when we can see it all play out in person here with your crates. So thank you.
Really happy inside right now. Like, come on, it worked, because I haven't looked at it yet. So
successful endeavor here. Super. So I hope it continues to travel well to your future shows.
Me too.
Thank you so much, Martin. Once again, if you haven't seen these builds that have been featured on Beyond the Brick, we'll put links in the description so you can actually see what these look like set up, not just in the crates here. But thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.